Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning, everyone. If you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our inspirational word for the day, you're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. And our warden has the dog this morning.
Good morning. Today this is kennel number 23. It's a tricolor 3 to 4 year old Beagle Jack Russell mix. We have 27 other dogs in the kennel. So if this isn't your dog, come and take a look. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Under resolutions, number 1, investments.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Transfers.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisitions.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Travel.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Bills.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as noted on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Administrator Cortez.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a number of potential hires this morning at Job and Family Services, Facilities Management Commissioners. I'd like to talk about those hiring with the board. I'd also like to update you on ongoing labor contract negotiation on Steelworkers America and United Auto Workers. And potential purchase of real estate. All of those topics are allowable under the Sunshine Act for executive session discussion, so that at the conclusion of our regular board meeting, we go into executive session, we talk about those items that I've outlined. Thank you.
Under Children and Families, amend resolution number 1676 adopted February 3rd, 2016, approving the purchase service contract for Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center for the Help Me Grow program for sign language interpretation for fiscal year 16. Amendment reflects the employer ID number on the contract.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Amendment resolution number 16409 adopted June 29, 2016, approving the purchase service contract for Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center for the Help Me Grow program for sign language interpretation for fiscal year 17. Amendment reflects the employee ID number.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under Community Development, award various contracts for homeowners to receive grant assistance from CHIP program year 14 homeowner rehab activity, which includes contingencies for any unforeseen change orders and being the most responsive complying with specifications. 1, GenMet Construction, Lorain, in the amount of $43,686 for Michael and Renee Barnowski at 36730 Bowerdale Court, Avon. And then 2 should be J. Kilby Net Premier Sewer Drain, North Ridgeville, in the amount of $37,235 for Scott and Tracy Daglish at 175 Ashwood Drive, Avon Lake.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under Transit, authorize filing of an application with ODOT for fiscal year 17, section 5310, enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under CBCF, approve the Fifth Amendment to the Agreement of Sublease between the Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for CBCF. Amendment is to reflect the additional $230,000 in capital funds for foundation mitigation during the construction of the 50-bed expansion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under Clerk Courts, enter into business property lease agreement with Surratt Enterprises Limited for 1,500 square feet in a portion of strip shopping center known as Mills Creek Plaza at 33121 Center Ridge Road, North Ridgeville. This is effective 4 years commencing September 1st, 2016 at a cost of $1,800 per month.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Under Domestic Relations, approve and enter an operating agreement with Airmark Correctional Services, LLC, to provide food service for the detention home and residential complex, effective retroactive to July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, with an increase of 2.7% based upon inflationary food price index.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Cortez.
Well, you guys just kind of rifled through things this
Sure
morning,
did.
didn't you?
We're efficient.
Not going to get a lot of work done today. Yeah. I have no additional comments this morning. I yield to council. Thank you.
Mr. Pettigrew.
We have no comments from our office today.
Wow.
Commissioners
We
report.
have to talk for a while, guys.
Not really.
Yeah, right.
This past Saturday, I was out at the Lorain County Speedway. We had an event out there honoring all of our first responders, and I just want to thank all those people who came out to honor them and the men and women who are there for us when in our time of need. I want to thank all the people that came and brought pet donations, pet food donations that were divided between our Lorain County Dog Kennel and the Pet Pantry of Lorain County. Monday I attended my monthly Goodwill meeting, and I missed the annual meeting, which had some really good information that I want to just share with everybody. For 2015, Goodwill served over 1,100 people. 800 people attended their job fairs. They had 90 businesses who participated in those job fairs and had over 100 job placements. And then from January through May, they've already had 28 job placements. And then because we are so involved with our solid waste and our landfill, they had 51 semis with almost 2 million pounds of salvage that's being diverted away from our landfill. So that's really great. Tuesday, I went out to the Ohio State Extension office on Russia Road. They had an open house for a new guy out there. His name is John Schoenhals. He's here for a grant for the next 2 years, and I actually invited him to come here to the commissioners meeting to share some of his ideas and what some of his plans for the next 2 years. So they had a nice little open house over there. And I just want to thank all of law enforcement and all those who were involved in keeping the peace downtown Cleveland during the RNC, week of the RNC. I'm really proud of Cleveland and how everybody handled it. And I also want to wish my grandson Gavin happy 8th birthday, he just had a birthday this past week. So happy birthday, Gavin. End of my report.
All right. Yeah, a lot of things going on. But also just, if anybody got the opportunity to catch the convention going on, the Democrat Party nominated a woman to be the first president of the United States, first major party. Looks like everything's going well. I'm following Dan Ramos's tweets and such as he's letting us know what the party's going on. But congratulations to Hillary Clinton and also to Senator Bernie Sanders on what a fine job he's done. So I just thought it was exciting listening to the First Lady of the United States speak
Oh,
and everyone. She was
amazing.
unbelievable. Just really exciting from our side of the aisle. So, end of my report.
Yeah, he often said that last time when President Obama was running for re-election against Mitt Romney, that if Michelle Obama was running, she'd beat both of them probably. So, dynamic lady. Had a chance to attend the Lorain County Township Association meeting on Thursday. I want to thank Amy Samanzia and everybody else for the great work that they're doing. They had their candidates night that night over at the event, but good event. I did not make the Community Day Parade over there in Sheffield Lake, but I understand that they had another successful event as well. Had the opportunity to attend the Mexican Mutual Scholarship Fund Steak Fry on Saturday, and I talk about it all the time. Every time I go over to Mexican Mutual, just have a great time. Folks over there are about as friendly as you can find anywhere in the world. Just great folks over at Mexican Mutual all the time, and really enjoyed that event. And Main Street Elyria will be having their steak fry this coming Saturday. A good group, good organization that we as a county enjoy working with for all the great things that they're doing to promote the downtown. And that completes my report.
Tuesday, August 2nd, 11 o'clock, we're going to have our Investment Advisory Committee meeting. Board correspondence.
I move to approve the board correspondence and waive the reading.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundey.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Public comment.
Anyone wishing to participate in public comment this morning? Okay. Seeing no one, I would move that we
Yeah.
go.
I know there was a gentleman here that you wanted to talk about the sewers.
Did
I
you
mean,
wanna come up?
I'll give it my best shot since he
Okay.
came up here.
Yeah,
you know.
come on up and,
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah,
Commissioner, I'm
couple
sorry,
que-
but
No, it's okay.
I'll do what I can for you. I don't have any information in front of me, but maybe I can.
Yeah, just
we-
grab either podium, just give us your name and address, sir, and see if we can answer your questions for you.
I'm Jerry Hune. I live in the Brentwood subdivision out there in Grafton. And I walk around there every day to get my walk in. And the neighbors just pitched a bitch when they seen that new sewer bill we got the other day. They jacked it up $25 more than what it was. That's an old neighborhood out there, you know. It's probably 2/3 people over 60 years old, and limited income and all that stuff. And I said, well, I'll take a ride down to the meeting this morning. I went to the town hall meeting the other day, and they all played stupid, like they didn't know nothing about it.
Mr. Cortez.
So I said, well, I'll come
They
up
knew.
here and
Are you asking me about them playing stupid, or did they know?
They do. No, don't mention about the
I would
stupid.
advise you not to answer that question.
Especially with one of your trustees here. Brentwood is Carlisle, right?
huh?
It's Carlisle, right?
Yeah, right.
I met with the Carlisle people. I don't think the trustees came to that meeting. I think they sent their CFO and somebody else came, and I had a meeting with them.
Bill Oliver, you talking about?
I'm not sure if Bill was there. The meetings were some time back, but I met with every community that was affected with the trustees. Now, while the Board of Commissioners is the authority with regard to the sewer district, as a courtesy, we went and met with all of your township trustees. They don't really have a say in any of that under the revised
They
code.
did say that, yeah.
They do. They don't, and that's a safe haven usually for them. But as a courtesy, we went. We had conversation, and we made some changes to the rate structure and how we were going to apply that rate structure, rather than an immediate increase over a 2-year period. Actually, it's a year and 10 months the way, because we moved it again for Amherst Township when they came in and asked for an additional 30 or 60 days. But we did have the informational meetings with folks.
Well, that's what I was telling Lori. I says, like the cities, you're getting garbage service and water service and all this other stuff. Out there, that's just $140 now to flush your toilet.
I can tell you that no money ever leaves the sanitary engineers department. It's never used outside. In fact, over the years, the general fund has loaned it money to continue operating. The problem is that we have package plants that we had to upgrade by EPA mandate about 10 years ago to have significant debt service on them still. It's a little comfort that in 10 years that debt service will be gone, because more than likely they'll make us upgrade again, and we'll have other work. They continue to tighten the requirements. But the money that's in the sanitary district goes into the district for repairs all through the district. Nothing leaves there, so...
We don't really get economies of scale because we don't have as many users as a city would have, so maybe theirs may be a little less than the county's cost to do business, but it is the cost to do business for just the sewer department.
It's expensive, and it's getting more expensive. The tighter the requirements become, the more challenging it is to meet those requirements. And of course, we have debt service, we have repair, and you mentioned it's an older neighborhood. That starts a whole set of problems. If I'm thinking about Brentwood right now, we were back there with a lateral demonstration a while back.
Right.
Because we have a lot of failed laterals.
Mhm.
I can tell you that's got to be dealt with, and that's a homeowner's expense, so we've been wrestling with options on that. We were down in Plum Creek. We have all but one lateral replaced by the homeowners down there because we had a 90% failure on the laterals there. we're in Eaton Township working on the laterals problems down there. We got lots of them being replaced, but it was like an 85 to 90% failure rate. Old clay tile.
Right.
The I&I is significant. The EPA is always on us about the infiltrating of the water, and that overwhelms the treatment facility. And then we have high fecal counts, and things aren't working so well. And Brentwood's on that list too. I wish I could tell you that the price is gonna come down there, but when we get there and we start dealing with the laterals, it's probably going to get a little costly with some homeowners, and we're trying to figure out how to make that as less costly as possible. And we actually applied for some grants over there that we didn't receive, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'm trying to remember the number on that plant, but it's small. There's not a lot of homes back there, right?
It's about 800, I think.
Excuse me?
800, I think. Maybe it's 600.
I thought there was less than that.
I don't know the home count over there.
But we continue to move forward and try to work on that. We're not taking any money out of there, and it all goes to the folks that are working in the sanitary department. But old infrastructure is very, very expensive. Well, the city of Lorain right now, you see what they're doing there. The city of Elyria, they have a massive bills going on trying to upgrade their facilities. It's not just their wastewater treatment plants, which some of them are getting fairly aged in Lorain County. It's the things that connect to the wastewater treatment plant that nobody really wanted to deal with for decades. And we're doing our best to mitigate those costs, but there really is very limited amount of grant money and help outside. And it's they've stopped putting grant money and CDBG money into sewer repairs and upgrades, and it's been tough. I can appreciate the fact that when a bill goes up, nobody likes it, but I assure you, it wasn't to line anybody's pocket or a pay raise or to support something other than the treatment and the repair work that comes out of the sanitary engineers department. And certainly, if you ever wanted to look over the budget for the department, I would certainly make available. Lisa Hobart's at the end of the table over there. She's our budget director. She has the budget for the sanitary department, and you're free to take a look at it. I just, that's the best I can offer you right now.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest challenges that government faces is keeping infrastructure up to speed. And in government, as by being here today, it's never popular to raise rates on anything, and so government defers and puts it off and patches and puts band-aids on things, and then Uncle Sam comes along and says, we're increasing the regulations and you must do this or else you get fined. And so it's a real uphill challenge. And at some point, you got to either pay now or pay later. And it'd be nice if we were, increasing things to cover costs and make the investments as we go along. And but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in government. But eventually you reach a point where you just simply have to do it, or else you face fines or greater costs. And we try to be as lean and mean as possible, but it's not like everybody says run government like a business. We can't just go out there and charge some ridiculous price like people for gas or whatever it may be. So we're trying to do the best we can, and we realize there's lots of people with tight budgets these days, and we try to work closely with the township trustees all the time to find out what's it's never comfortable, but what's the most comfortable way that we can maybe do this? And so we do try to work with the local leaders as well too. But if people in this country only knew, if they could look below ground and look at the whole system and see it up close, they would really be appalled by how bad the infrastructure just is in the country in general. Just look at the yearly bridge reports that come out. I'm surprised people even want to drive over some of these bridges in the country. But that's the reality of what we face.
Well, we also had multiple years we didn't have any increases coming out of the recession. We didn't reinstitute raises like we'd done the previous 5 years with the automatic increases. So it probably goes back to 2011 or 12 that there was actually an increase in your sewer rates. There was 4 or 5 years that there were no increases whatsoever.
I know it went up to 120, and now it's up to 140. And
right, but it'd been a long time that it had been sitting
at least
back there that we hadn't increased. So, I mean, we just had some catch-up to do. We were letting people come out of the recession and things to get better before we approach it. We spent a lot of time looking at these things as we did 10, 12 years ago when we first started having to do all these, when Lorain and I first got here, we were looking at a couple $1 million in fines from the EPA from package plants never being repaired back to 1981. And we tackled all of that to try and get it up so people could flush their toilets. I think in this day and age, people like the ability to flush that toilet or run their water. So, I mean, we spent a lot of time on this, and a lot of numbers coming out of our sanitary on what it's going to cost to stay par. Again, it's not a profit-oriented department. It's a matter of just upkeeping the service. If a pipe breaks, the 4, 5, 6, 800 homes that are down in Brentwood want it repaired. We don't leave it unrepaired until you guys come up with all the money to pay for it. So it's figuring out what the costs are going to be to do those repairs going forward and maintain it. And there's different systems and different ages within the county that we're responsible for who have more problems or less problems. But that's, and like I said, we've been multiple years without any increases at all, which I don't think most of the cities can say. So.
Well, at least the good thing in my house is only 10 years old. I got the last new house in there, so
Okay.
mine's all plastic.
Well, your lateral's good for a long
Yeah.
time then. The plastic laterals, they have a really, really cool, significant lifetime. As long as the seals, sometimes they cook pieces of that together, and as long as those stay pretty firm, you should be good for 30+ years on them. The clay ones, and what a bad thing they used that clay back then, and the roots get in them, they crack and they sag,
And there's always a sewer company in there digging up somebody's yard. That's been constant for the last couple of years over there.
It's real problematic, and especially in the real older neighborhoods. We're doing all that work down in Pheasant Run and down Eaton Estates, and it's all clay tile. It's just wow, it's just bad stuff.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry I don't have any better answer for you, but I didn't want you not to at least have a chance to talk since you took the time to come up here.
You're welcome here for other issues also.
Yeah.
Come anytime.
Okay.
It's almost as good as late night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Anyone else wanting to participate in public comment? Okay. Seeing none, I move that we go into executive session, discuss personnel issues that were outlined by the county administrator.
Second.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.